United Talk Time on podcast. It's the Sutton Podcast.
And there it is! Sutton United of the GM Vauxhall Conference have put out First Division Coventry City, winners of the FA Cup themselves less than 2 years ago. And what a moment to enjoy for the fans of this Surrey side. They've had their moments before, but never one like this.
But the whistle goes down. Delight for Sutton United. Sutton United, the National League, are through to the last 16 of the FA Cup. No longer English football's perennial non-league club. A 123-year crescendo reaches a new peak for Sutton United, who are promoted to the Football League for the first time.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Sutton United Talk to Common podcast. It's the first ever one, the Sunday service. Joining me today is a guest who's been on before, so he's not going to get the whole "Who are you" treatment. It's Andrew. How's it going, Andrew?
Hi, good afternoon, Mike. Good to see you again.
Lovely. Forward out from yesterday? That
was about to be my first line of the podcast. Yeah, I was absolutely bitter yesterday, wasn't it?
It was. Funny enough, we were all thinking it was quite cold, and a couple of players were like, "That's the coldest I've ever played in my life," and it was a nice one. Yeah,
literally. I saw John Barden's Insta stories, and they were sitting in an ice bath after the game yesterday. I don't think they really needed to be honest. But obviously, last year we weren't at these. Well, apart from the two home games that in between the lockdowns, we weren't really at the games to experience that cold weather. But yesterday was a little bit of a shock, wasn't it?
You kind of forget because last year we were all tucked up, nice and toasty, and we didn't
watching streams.
Yeah. But what I wanted to do is I'm not going to do the whole "Who are you?" because we had that before. But getting to know people, what I'm going to be asking is various different questions. And the one I've decided for you this week is, who is your favourite player from the past, not the current crop, because that's a bit unfair to be picking out from the current crop. So any player from the past, who's your favourite? Doesn't have to be the best player, just is there a reason for it or whatever?
I was asked this when I did a programme interview a couple of seasons ago, and I'd probably stick with him still. I'd say Danny Bolt, which was kind of early 2000s, and then I just loved his left foot. He scored some extraordinary goals, and then I bumped into him at one of the fans versus coaches games, which we used to hold, if you remember, kind of at the end of the season, and he turned up for one of them, and actually I got to ask him a couple of questions about his time at Sutton, and he said he really enjoyed his time at Sutton, and personal circumstances curtailed his time at Sutton. He would have stayed a little bit longer, but he would certainly be up there. And then I'd probably have to give a shout out to Nicky Bailey, who I saw obviously when he was coming through the ranks at Sutton, and then when Doz brought him back a couple of years back. But yeah, that would be my a couple of entries there for your question.
Well, Nicky, I was thinking about it myself yesterday, and I was coming up. I've got my other answer, and then 2 minutes later, no, I've got a different answer. Mine would probably have to be one of the players that made me come back time and time to the club was Lenny Dennis. And part of the reason, I still don't understand why, but part of the reason is he used to be at the club doing great things, and then Paul McKinnon, who was a great striker for the club, who used to play in Sweden, and then came back when the Swedish league ended. I always felt like, I don't know, I objected that he was coming back, and all the fans were like delighted he was back, and I was like, poor Lenny, he's done all the hard work for the last few weeks, and just go, So I think it was because I was outraged on his part. Obviously, I understand a bit more now, but still, there's that little child in me going, no, Lenny, I love Lenny. But yeah, Nicky, I thought was great. When he came back, I thought it was actually quite a big move for us at the time, for him coming back, because he could definitely have played at a higher level. And funny enough, that was one of the things I mentioned to him about what you said about Danny loving his time at the club. Is at the time we seemed to be getting a lot of players going off and coming back and coming back to the club, because there is certainly something just about the whole setup. Pretty much every player who's left has always left on fairly good terms. I think there was one who didn't leave on greatest terms. Gonzalez, I think, went to Carshalton.
Luis Gonzalez,
Yeah.
Gonzalez, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a bit stroppiness when he left. But other than that, most players leave with our good wishes. But actually, stepping into dangerous territory here, I don't want to talk about players leaving.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's nice to kind of hear where different people come from. And I'm guessing most people's answers is going to be kind of around when they first started going regularly, and the players that made them. I'm guessing. I don't know. Some kind of psychology there. I'll talk to my daughter about it. But let's chat about the Barrow match. Obviously freezing. There was a bit of a not surprise, because obviously I don't choose a team and I don't know what I would be doing if I did, but I was a little bit not confused even, but I was a little bit surprised that Ricky didn't get the nod over Will, considering how well Ricky played against Mansfield the other night.
I mean, I saw your predicted team lineup for the game, and are in there, and yeah, exactly the same as you. Really, I mean, did he get the man of the match on Tuesday, or did McGill get it? But Kubo surely should have been up there. I mean, he had a great game, and people that I was standing next to on Tuesday said how much of an impact he'd made, because we haven't seen a great deal of him for whatever reason. He didn't even come on yesterday, did he?
No.
So yeah, that was a strange one.
That surprised me as well. Not just that he didn't come on. We only used 2 subs yesterday. We always use 3 subs, but for some reason yesterday didn't. And also, again, surprised but great to see Kenny come in for Alistair Smith.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear the news about Smith. Just watched Matt's post match, and he said Smith picked up a knock in training. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Kenny. Yeah, he's been a good servant for the club, hasn't he? And I didn't know if he'd come up with us into League Two, into the full-time setup, but delighted he has. And yeah, he's still a great player and a really worthwhile member of the squad. So.
Well, were you at the managers? You weren't at the managers.
I wasn't the other week. No.
I'm fairly sure the story's widely circulated now, but Kenny apparently, at the time of the contracts were being decided on and given out, he was called into Matt's office. Obviously I don't know details, you know this from me, but the gist of the story was Kenny basically said, yeah, I know how this goes, I'll find another club. And Matt was like, what are you on about? Just sign the contract. And Kenny was just really, really stumped of, what? I'm staying. Yeah, you're staying. And so, yeah, and that was like players like Kenny, you've got something to prove. 33, I think he is. You've got Joe Kizzy, who is slightly older than I thought he was, actually. He's 27. So he was saying that these are why he wants these players. They've got something to prove in these leagues. And obviously the young fella Dundo as well, as was mentioned.
The whippersnapper.
Yeah. But Kenny was definitely a surprise. But I got this. It's not brilliant, and I said to Mark, I don't try and get too much into my stats because I'm a bit obsessive. I've just got this little thing of the season of players and how they're doing, and actually, since every game Kenny's played in, I know a lot of them off the bench, but it was before yesterday. It was 2 wins and 2 draws.
Yeah, it's good going.
So he'd never not lost, and then yesterday, obviously, another great game. But I was surprised that he lasted the full 90. Excellent as well. Gives us that little bit of competition in midfield. But yeah, start of the match, I was a little bit. Obviously, Matt knows more than me, so maybe he just feels that Ricky just needs to be just held back a little bit. But yeah, I did expect him to start. And
yeah, he might get a go ahead on Tuesday, mightn't he? The cup game. I know it's managing the squad a little bit, but yeah, I would have expected him to have another start yesterday, perhaps.
Yeah. But on the game, we were quite lucky it was Barrow, I have to say, because some of their strikers were shocking. They were poor. There was that 1-on-1, which wasn't offside, I don't think.
In the first half, is
Yeah.
it Zanzala? I think Dino saved it with his foot, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, they had corner after corner in that second half. I think they mounted quite a bit of pressure on us, didn't they? I think Dino had a fingertip save as well. But an important 3 points at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Build up from the Mansfield game.
Yeah, and obviously the 3 points are the most important thing, and we didn't get any injuries, which is again another thing. But I think that's given us a little bit of a cushion. When I was watching Quest this morning, so we're now 4 points clear of Leighton Orient, who are just so it's a bit bizarre to be talking
That is
about.
weird. Yeah. I mean, I'm still firmly in the thought, let's get another 15 points or so, and see how we are after that.
Always the 50 points, but even just looking at it, I was counting it up this morning. I was thinking to myself, you know what? By the time my birthday comes around, which is the 12th of January, there's 7 games between now and then. If we won 6 of them, we've got the 50 points.
Yeah.
So we could get it by early January. But looking at some of those other teams, I mean, especially Oldham at the moment, who've just lost probably their best chance of staying up. With Keith Cole, they're not going to get to 50.
No, I think that's probably that's done them. I think crazy number of managers they've had in the last couple of years.
I heard that it was. They said since 2018, Keith Cole was their 10th manager.
Yeah, I mean that's nothing. The stability of that club. I mean, it's awful. Really feel for their fans.
Yeah, I mean it's just ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that was a great game. I thought the goal was amazing. It came at just a perfect moment. Warmed a few people up.
Great crossfield ball from Rob. Quick thinking on that, because I think he just pinged it across, didn't he? As soon as the referee gave it. I mean, and they were kind of out of position, perhaps a little bit, but and then David does his magic and. Swings it in off the left foot.
Yeah, I think the commentators were saying, he rode his luck a little bit because the ball kind of ricocheted and sort of played off his chest. But I remember Chelsea striker Flortov, Jan.
Jan Fjortoft, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I kept looking when he was playing. I just kept thinking, lucky that ball just bounces here, there, and everywhere. And when it just keeps going on and on and on, you're like, you can't be that lucky all the time. It must be something there as well as a bit of luck. But it was a great goal, came perfect time. I was with a couple of people who was there, and it was Nick, the Greek, who wanted to go into the bar, and I was like, I do think it's 1-0, and I think it could go now because I didn't see another goal in that game.
Yeah, I think I was reading the programme notes, and never really many goals between Sutton and Barrow. They had a 3-2 against them a couple of years back, but generally they're quite boring contests. On the whole.
Yeah, and then Dino did brilliantly, but he did kind of that whole thing with the ball. It's just a bit odd where he got booked. If it was a time-wasting exercise, he'd been better off calling the referee over to the flat ball and all the rest of it.
He wanted a ball replacement, didn't he?
Yeah, so the ball, he got rid of the ball that was there, but he went off to the side to do it, and then that's why the ref booked him. So either way, I just thought it was odd, and I think that's like his 4th booking now. And some of them are like you know what, you could chill out a little bit. Love him, and also kept us in the game. But as much as I'm saying their strikers were awful, he did make a good few saves yesterday. But a good match. Another one to tick off a bit closer. I am going to put you on the spot, and something I'm thinking I'm going to carry on. I'm not entirely sure if the name's going to stick. It probably isn't, because the missus was like rolling her eyes very violently when I said it. But it's going to be the Sutton United podcast Pod Player of the Day. No,
Okay.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah. So the Sutton Pod. No. But anyway, who would you think was Player of the Day? Not necessarily man of the match, just the point of the day.
Yeah, I'd probably have to say Adji Boy just for the goal, to be honest.
Yeah.
I could have gone with Dino, of course. String of good saves, but yeah, the real bit of quality really was the finish from Adji Boy, wasn't it?
Absolutely. So
I'm slightly worried for January. I'm not going to lie about keeping on to him. But
he did. I think that thing he did say there's nothing expected for January, which would kind of indicate hopefully players have committed. What he also said is, and I think I put this on there for you, is that due to the way we're working things now, we have essentially got a scouting process and targets for almost every single player to be replaced. So if someone left, obviously it'd be unhappy, but we've got other players that can cover the position, and then someone else to come in or plan to come in. I think he even said there might be 2 players planned ahead. And he said we've got players we're looking at not for this year, not for next year, 2-3 seasons down the line.
it's very good.
Which is just like, oh my God, this is something we're talking about. But as you're the only guest on today, that means there's no there's no split vote or controversy. It's David going to be man of the match.
There he is.
I'll tweet that out later. I'm sure he'll be utterly delighted to get the accolade from Sutton Podcast. But to squeeze us on a little bit, Tuesday, will you be jumping on the Pizza Cup bandwagon like me?
Yeah,
or?
I think I'm going to have a slice of that action. Sorry, terrible that. Sorry.
No, that's good. I'm going to use that next week.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a reasonably favourable draw for us. And yeah, I think the prize money steps up, doesn't it? If we get through this one, but yeah, we'll keep the momentum going. I think I said last time it's a bit of a maligned competition, but there's a chance of getting to Wembley, and yeah, let's go for it.
Matt has definitely put it as a target because as he said, we are now 4 games from Wembley. Which got Bruce very like, whoa, what? I don't think Bruce has actually ever been to Wembley as chairman. So it is a maligned competition, but it is what it is. You can only beat who's in front of you, and they're trying different things. And I think I heard Dan saying on a different podcast, the reason the prize money is so good is because the Premier League are getting to put their youth teams into it, and they're kind of bumping up the prize money a little bit. So you can't knock it too much. What is funny is that probably Sutton are one of the very few clubs that all the fans know exactly what the prize money is and sitting there ticking it off, going, yes, we'll have that, we'll have that.
Tighten it all up.
Yeah. Careful, cautious with money.
Because we need the money to pay for everything.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I think we've got a reasonable chance of going through. I think Stevenage had to change their manager or sack their manager. I don't think they've appointed anyone in permanent charge yet.
Yeah, they had the under-18s manager for the FA Cup match, and he got through. And then it was a big thing that he was then going to be taking charge of the FA Cup match the following Tuesday night, which I think was against us, and we beat them. But yeah, I've watched the last couple of quests, and I'm fairly sure Stevenage have officially changed their name to Struggling Stevenage. So we can only hope.
They had their game called off yesterday, I think, up at Tranmere. So.
Oh yeah.
So we'll so reasonably confident that we'll get something on Tuesday night.
And interestingly, a guy from work's going to come with me on this Tuesday, and I was telling him on Saturday, wrap up warm, wrap up. It is so cold; it's going to be freezing on Tuesday night. And he just sent me a message going, "Yeah, I've just checked the weather forecast. It's going to be 11 degrees on Tuesday."
No way! Is it jumping back up?
No, I said that's a typo. That's absolutely typo. And I checked about 3 different weather sites, and it's like suddenly Sunday, Monday is going to be cold, and Tuesday it's going to suddenly be balmy almost.
I might have to get my cap out.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Exactly. Little shorts and t-shirt weather. But yeah, that kind of brings us up to date. We are, I've ticked off everything I was going to say.
Short and sweet one today, yeah?
That is professional, man. That is absolutely. So, anything else you wanted to cover, or?
Not immediately. I mean, looking forward to the 3 away games that we've got after. But I know you don't. I know you have a bit of
busy.
Not going to the far distant, shall we say, away game. So we'll maybe we'll leave that subject.
So
but
yeah, we got the expensive December coming up for everyone.
Yeah,
So
I did a little over 50 quid yesterday to Adrian Barry for those tickets. Yeah, bit of travelling in that week.
Yeah, so we've got Bristol Rovers. Go ahead after Stevenage. You've got Bristol Rovers, Newport, Bradford, Harrogate, Bristol Rovers again, and then the home game. So there's only one home game now. 2 more for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Well, the rest of the year is only a month. That sounds dramatic, doesn't it? It's only a month.
What about one home game before Christmas? There you go.
Yeah,
that could be worded like that.
The Dowling house is getting Christmas-fied today because we tend to do it.
Got a bit of tinsel going on there, is it?
Yeah, we do it the weekend after my daughter's birthday, and it's this weekend, so it's all going on. I've got my proper tree. Hang on, sorry for the crotch shot. If you get it, look at that. It's my office tree there.
Is there a Sutton United star right at the top of it? I hope.
This is going to work so well when I make this into an audio, isn't it? Everyone's going to be like, "What's he on about? Look at the tree." So yeah, you should have listened to the live stream. Right, one last thing I'm going to introduce as well is a little prediction league.
Brilliant.
So you're gonna get one bit of this right. You'll be top of the prediction league. So Stevenage Tuesday. Give me a scoreline. You'll get. What I'll do is I'll do 1 point for the correct result, and then 3 points for the correct score.
Okay. We'll go Sutton United 2, Stevenage 0.
2-0 Stevenage. I was going to go 2-1. Hang on, I need to write it down somewhere.
Definitely not Stevenage. 2-0 Sutton.
Yeah. So both saying Sutton. I've gone 2-1. You've gone with 2-0. Right. I'll lock them in. If anyone else wants to join in that, you have to get it into me before Tuesday. I'm sure it's going to be really, really, really popular.
We could get a Twitter vote going on, couldn't we?
Exactly. We get all sorts going. This is going live on Twitter. No one's watching it, but it's going live on Twitter. Anyway, thank you very much. We'll
no worries.
see you up there, and I will get you back on in a few weeks. So make sure you mute my number so you don't get dragged into it again.
Cheers, Mike. Thanks very much for your time.
No worries. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's it for another episode of Sutton United Talk Time Podcast, the first ever Sunday service. Hope you've enjoyed it and hope to see you all soon. As I say, if you do want to join in with the live chats, please just contact us or watch it live and you can put in your comments. There was a comment from someone on the YouTube channel, which literally doesn't do much. It just says hello, so I didn't read that comment out, but hello to you. And I am going to wrap it up there and finish off the show. Take care and see you on Tuesday. Have a great week. United! United! United!